Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the multidimensional MD. Thanks for joining me this week. And I'm here on a Thursday. Usually I'm here on Wednesday, but life happens. And today I was inspired by a friend of mine, or this week, inspired to talk about CoQ10 energy basics and what they have to do with mitochondria and why CoQ10 is important. Because there are so many things in integrative medicine that I am reminded that they're well known. There are things that are just in the holistic world so basic, and yet in the regular medical world are not common knowledge. So I wanted to talk about some of those things with CoQ10 today, and then delve a little bit into the mitochondrial aspects as well, because it's something that I'm looking into. I'll be teaching other physicians in January about mitochondria and also the maternal lineage of mitochondria, since your mitochondrial DNA is only or mostly from your maternal side, from only from your mother. So you can follow the maternal lineage that way. And you can actually feel any emotional, uh, generational trauma that way through the mitochondrial lineage. So that's really interesting and part of my inspiration of talking to you about CoQ10, energy, mitochondria today. So I'm going to go through what CoQ10 is, how it helps, lifestyle factors that can block CoQ10 activity or reduce it, and block mitochondrial activity, medications that are notorious for blocking CoQ10 activity, and what you could do about that, and food sources of CoQ10, as well as supplementing with CoQ10 and precautions. So we're going to go through all of that today. So, what is CoQ10? Well, it is a fat soluble vitamin like substance that helps your body convert food into energy. And it does that in the mitochondria, but is also an antioxidant, which helps protect your cells from free radical damage. It helps to stabilize the cell membranes. And there are two forms of CoQ10. There's the ubiquinone form, which is the oxidized form, and that's the one that's used as an electron donor in the electron transport chain in the mitochondria. So it's like this mill, like if you had a flow of water building up charge like a battery. So a ubiquinone builds up the charge with the separating the electrons, and building up that charge so that you can create energy from food. So then ubiquinone is reduced to what is called ubiquinol, another form of CoQ10, and that's when it functions as an antioxidant. So it can protect from free radical damage, because then it can gain those free radicals and help protect your cells in that way. This is how it also helps to protect the cell membranes and make them more stable, and has so many functions in terms like antioxidant functions as well. So it's important in either way. And because it's used in both the oxidized form and the reduced form, then it just recycles itself. So how does CoQ10 help? It is helpful for your mitochondria, and we are going to talk about that with in terms of like what medications reduce your mitochondrial function and block CoQ10 activity in just a moment. It's helpful for cardiovascular disease. So there are articles and research showing that CoQ10 is very effective in reducing triglycerides and plasma lipoprotein A. So if you have high triglycerides, if you have high lipoprotein A, and you're not yet taking CoQ10, then that would be a really great thing to do. It also is known to protect against the effects of aging. So there is lots of evidence for how it can help with your mitochondria, and we know that it seems that your mitochondria, the number of mitochondria you have, which are the energy storehouses in your cell, reduce as you age. This is not an absolute, and this, of course, depends on lifestyle factors and so many other factors. But we know that maintaining CoQ10 levels can help with those bioenergetics and can help reduce a risk of cardiovascular disease and inflammation. And part of that's due to the antioxidant effects of CoQ10, but again, it's also that cofactor in terms of making energy, literally making energy in your cells from food. So, it's also great for reducing inflammation, which is involved in so many disease processes, from cardiovascular effects to arthritis to metabolic syndrome. So again, it stabilizes the cell membranes and protects them against oxidative stress. It also helps to recycle other antioxidants, including vitamin E. And we see that, like, if people are supplemented with various doses of CoQ10, anywhere ranging from 60 milligrams to 500 milligrams a day for a week to months, then they show decreased levels of inflammatory markers. So there's laboratory evidence that CoQ10 is protecting against oxidative damage, there's also other studies showing that it can do this for all different kinds of disease processes, including in Down syndrome, where there can be some mitochondrial dysfunction and risk for oxidative stress and damage. And so supplementing with CoQ10 can also help in Down syndrome. So it can help in so many different ways. It may possibly help. So those are the things that we know it can help with, but it can also possibly help with metabolic syndrome and diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's, kidney diseases, fertility issues, migraines, and physical performance. So let's go over what lifestyle factors can block CoQ10 mitochondrial activity. And there are many, and really, when it comes down to it, it's like anything that is healthy seems to support all the other healthy functions in your body and your mind. So sugar and processed foods tend to smash your mitochondria. So your mitochondria communicate with each other and nice and happy, and sometimes they group together and form. They can look like beans or like long tubules, but having sugar and processed foods tends to fragment the mitochondria, and so they break apart, and you have less mitochondrial function. Lack of movement or lack of exercise also decreases the number of mitochondria you have. So the reverse of that is that if you have regular exercise, then it tells your body that you need more energy, and your cells will actually make more mitochondria. So the places in your body that need the most energy are going to be your heart. It's working all the time, your muscles, especially if you're exercising, your brain, your liver, your pancreas. So this is why you can see that CoQ10 having such a big role in the mitochondria, that CoQ10 deficiency can create problems with your heart, with your muscles, with your pancreas, so your insulin and metabolism, your liver, your detoxing capacity, and so much more. Uh, so now what's interesting is that overeating can also reduce your mitochondrial activity. So remember, the mitochondria help convert food into energy. But if you have too much of that of food coming in, then it's like your mitochondria are overworked, and they can't keep up their job. So they get overstressed, and any overwhelm or stress in general will overtax your energy systems as well. So anything that reduces mitochondrial activity will also block CoQ10 activity. So sum that up. It's sugar or processed foods, not moving enough, overeating, and being overstressed. So you flip that around, and things that can help support your mitochondrial activity are eating healthy, eating lots of greens, getting regular exercise and movement in your life, not overeating. So eating in so this is why like intermittent fasting can be helpful for some people, or not eating too close to bedtime. So you have that long period overnight where it's a built-in fast. And that's why when you eat in the morning, it's called breakfast, because it's you're breaking the fast. And that time is like a nice time to help reset, and your body gets to reset, and um, your body gets a break from having to digest your food, and having periods of regular rest too. So not being overstressed, and this can be from being over busy, or even doing so many things you like to do. And that's something that I work with, is that I have so many projects. I have so many things that I love to do that are so fun for me. But the interesting thing is, we're not always meant to be overdoing things and having fun all the time, which sounds like, wait, why can't we have fun all the time? But we also need to rest. And so when we're rest, I guess you can call it a different kind of fun. It's just your time to reset and let your body um, reset things. So what medications block CoQ10 activity? So the most notorious ones are the statins. These are cholesterol lowering medications, and statins are known to cause something called statin-induced myopathy. So statins are prescription drugs, and I would like to say that at this time that most physicians, including internists, family practice physicians, cardiologists, endocrinologists, know about the effects of statins. But having talked to friends and family, I find that it's still not common knowledge. So statins include atorvastatin, which is Lipitor, lovastatin, Mevacor, pravastatin, which is Pravachol, and simvastatin, which is Zocor. And these can be combined with other medications as well. So I'm not telling you to go off of your statins, but if you are taking a statin, then you need to definitely take CoQ10 to keep those levels up, because statins, by definition, they block what is called this HMG coenzyme A reductase, which is a key enzyme in cholesterol and CoQ10 biosynthesis. So this enzyme is how your body creates cholesterol and how it creates CoQ10. So you can see why these drugs were made to block the cholesterol, but in doing so, because they are part of this mevalonic acid pathway where cholesterol is made, but also CoQ10 is made, then it will block your production of CoQ10. So it will also reduce your the activity in the mitochondrial that relies on that CoQ10 being there as a cofactor in the electron transport chain in the mitochondria. So when you do that, then you get all the symptoms of CoQ10 deficiency. So you can have muscle pain, weakness, fatigue, cramps. But so I mean, that's talking more about your muscles. But remember, your heart is also a muscle. Your brain also needs lots of energy and requires a lot of mitochondria. So does your liver. So does your pancreas. So it's not just limited to the myopathy, meaning like muscle illness, or things that are going wrong with your muscle, but you could also have brain fog. So cognitively, you just may not feel as quick, and you might just think, "Oh, this is just aging, normal aging," but that's not true. Um, so just consider it. There are other medications, and this is, I got this from the Mount Sinai website, that can lower the levels of CoQ10 in the body. So statins are the most notorious, but also fibric acid derivatives for cholesterol, including Lopid or gemfibrozil, beta blockers that are used for high blood pressure, including atenolol, tenormin, labetalol, metoprolol, propranolol, and tricyclic antidepressants, including Elavil or amitriptyline, and doxepine and imipramine. So if you are taking any of those, then just maybe have a conversation with your physician, or talk to a holistic integrated physician to work with getting your levels of CoQ10 up. And we're going to talk a little bit more about supplementing in just a bit. So hold on that for just a moment. There are also food sources of CoQ10. So if CoQ10 is not blocked, your body will be able to recycle it and regenerate it. But if it is blocked, then you need like constant sources. But in general, we need like nutrients and healthy eating to support all of our nutrition and cofactors and healthy physiology. So food sources of CoQ10 include nuts, fatty fish like salmon and tuna, olive oil, organ meats, and whole grains. So, if you don't have to get all of those things in your diet, but try to get some of them so that you have some food sources of CoQ10. And eating healthy in general will help to support your mitochondrial activity and therefore support your CoQ10 activity as well. So, just briefly, let's talk about supplementing with CoQ10. So remember, CoQ10 is fat soluble, so it's best taken with a meal because with meals you typically have some sort of fat or oil. CoQ10 supplements tend to be poorly absorbed, so depending on your needs, you may have to take a look at dosing and titrate as you need to. There is a debate whether ubiquinone versus ubiquinol forms of CoQ10 are which one is better absorbed. Some say ubiquinol is better absorbed, but it is there are also some reports that it's less stable than ubiquinone and it's also more expensive to make. There are liposomal forms of CoQ10. So liposomal packages the CoQ10 in and some fat that helps it uh, acts as a carrier, the liposomal carrier, so that it can be better absorbed and taken into the cell membranes. So because CoQ10 is slowly absorbed, then it might be best taken at night so you have energy in the morning. And some people found that if they're taking it in the morning, they actually have trouble sleeping at night. So you can, again, when you start in supplements, start in one at a time so you can monitor the effects that may have on you and you can adjust it as needed. So, some side effects of supplementing with CoQ10 to be aware of are some GI upset, so including just upset belly, loss of appetite, nausea, or diarrhea. And other possible effects can include headaches or dizziness, again, insomnia that we mentioned, fatigue, which is interesting because it's used to give you more energy, skin itching or rashes, and irritability or agitation. So, depending on your sensitivity to supplements, to then start with lower dosing if you know that you're more sensitive. Definitely work with a physician or a practitioner that is well versed in helping you with these kinds of supplements, because there can also be medication interactions with anticoagulants such as warfarin, chemotherapy agents, and it can also, because it can help you balance your blood pressure, can reduce the need for blood pressure medication. So as your body is getting more balanced, and you may need to monitor that and make sure your blood pressure doesn't go too low. So and again, also with pregnancy and breastfeeding, just to speak to your physician about that and not to do anything without the approval of your physician or other practitioner. So, thank you so much for joining me. I know this was a quick review of CoQ10, and I'm doing this again on a Thursday, so I'm in between patients. But I wanted to hop on here to talk to you about this very important topic and clear up some things regarding CoQ10 that aren't commonly known for. In medicine, in our culture in general right now. So hopefully that is enlightening to you in some way. And as always, if you'd like to connect with me, you can on Instagram at All Worlds Health, on Facebook, All Worlds Health and Pediatrics, and on my website, allworldshealth.com. You can sign up for my Eve Love letters. I send them out usually on Wednesdays, once a week. And I'll be back here next week on Wednesday at the usual day. And lots of love to all of you. Please, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe. And lots of love. I believe in you. So I hope that you believe in you too. Take care. Bye.